Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Backstage Spotlight. Today we are with Freya. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So, would you like to introduce yourself and tell everybody what you're doing at the moment in the industry?
So I'm Freya, and at the moment I'm in Hairspray. Well, actually, we're on our break as of yesterday, but I'm in the Hairspray UK tour, and I'm playing Penny Pinkleton, Penny Lou.
That's
Yeah,
amazing. So, don't you get a month off at Christmas?
yeah. This is it. Started. What is it today? Is it Tuesday? We started our month off yesterday, and I think we're back on the 5th of January.
Yeah, that's a nice little chunk in the middle of the tour, isn't it?
So good because we've not had any time off yet, and I think we've been going since June.
Wow, that is
And
on.
I know, yeah, it was long. Different like things. I think some shows get like weeks off in between, and some
Yes.
people get like time off, whatever. And as far as I gather, 20 weeks is quite a long time to be doing it. But this is my first tour, so I didn't know. But like, it's nice to have like a not just a week, but like an amount of time where I could actually like sit and put my things in my suitcase away.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
sure. So, talk to us about how this all came about. Have you always liked performing?
I think so. And when I was really little, I always did like my school Christmas concert, and
Yeah.
I lived for it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So what point did you think, okay, this could be a career?
Well, I didn't know that, I liked acting and I liked singing, and I hadn't really done much dance, but I thought like you could be an actor, you could be a singer. And I was kind of like, I want to do both. And then I realized that you kind of can do both when I was about I think around the time I picked my GCSEs, because I picked music and I'd picked drama, and I was kind of like, can we actually do this? Because I'm from quite like a small northern village.
Yeah.
There's not too much opportunity in terms of stuff like that up here. Um, but like thankfully my high school was quite like supportive. Like my drama teacher, my music teacher was so supportive of me. Um, and there was I realized that you could actually kind of do it at A level instead of doing your A levels. And I didn't even know any of this existed till I was about 15, 16. But then I went to college and did musical theatre at
Oh.
16.
And
Yeah.
did you think that that was the right decision to go at 16 and do that?
I think so. For some people, I don't think that's necessary at all. But I think because I hadn't really done it at all, you
Yeah.
know, I had a bit of school, but like I hadn't really done a musical. I'd done like Grease when I was in year 7 or something. But like I didn't because lots of doors. I think it opened doors to me more than anything. Whereas like I know some people that I ended up going to drama school with, like they did their normal A levels, but like they knew about drama schools or they had like a really great dram or like a great dance school, something like that. I think if I hadn't gone to college, I wouldn't have even known Mount
Yeah.
View existed. I didn't know it existed before I went.
Yeah, for sure. How did you find that auditioning period from your 16 to 18 course to Mount View?
Um, it's quite different. I remember when I auditioned, because I went to Pendleton in Salford. I remember when I auditioned, I was kind of like, I don't really know what this is, but like it feels like I should maybe try and go somewhere like this. It sounds really cool. I turned up. I think we did a dance round. I can't remember, but I'm assuming that we did. And then I sang like 16 bars of a song. And then in the room, they were like, I remember them going, yeah, we'll offer you a place, literally like that. They gave you a t-shirt and then you took like a selfie and you went home. And like I'd got like a taxi all the way there. I'd got up at like crack of dawn and it was all like I was like, sick, let's do it. But like you had to do rounds and you had
Yeah,
to get I actually auditioned on Zoom because of COVID.
of
So that
course.
at least I didn't have to go down to London for it. But I'd already done the foundation. So like I knew that I liked it. I knew
Nice.
what it was like. And it wasn't just tapes, it was a Zoom. So which is a bit awkward, but like I find I'm not the best on tape because I really like the connection of a room.
Yeah,
Do you
for
know what I mean?
sure. It's
Yeah.
hard, isn't it, doing self tapes and
Yeah.
video auditions because it is so different than just going into a room and just having that conversation with them. People say that, oh, it doesn't matter, but I think it does. Like getting your personality across is really,
Yeah,
and
and you
it's
can really like when you I don't know, like you can gauge a panel like if you feel that like you can't feel anything from a tape, you just sort of this is the version I'm going to give you, and
like,
this is what I
yeah.
think. Yeah,
Whereas when you go in the room, like you just get more back and forth, and also if they want you to
yeah,
workshop something, they you
exactly. So much more fun.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
So Mount View, what a
yeah.
college to attend. I mean, that's absolutely fantastic. What
Very
was
good.
your biggest challenge at Mount View? The
Um,
moment like that you thought this is going to be tough, or did you have a moment like that?
I'd say I had quite like I loved foundation because it was just jokes. And I got in and it was great and it was we just had a really good time. It's your first time away from home. First year I had like not an awful time. I loved Mount View. Like, I had a great time. I had the best year. Like such a supportive year group. But in first year, I think I found that transition into the BA harder than I was expecting. Because like I was suddenly with like everyone on foundation was great, but like your group of like BA kids are like just so strong, and it is just different. Um, and I think first year you don't do any of the stuff you want to do until second year, but you have to lay all the foundations in first year.
Yeah.
And like that you're not the best and you're not going to be the best. And I used to find dance mentally challenging in terms of like I was like, oh, I can't do it. And like in first year I had some real struggles where I was like, I'm not the best at this, and I used to get really sad about it. But you start to do all the stuff you want to do in second year, and like I think half of drama school is just the mental game of like, if I think that this is good, then everyone else will believe it's good as well.
Yeah, for sure. It's like fake it till you make it sort of thing.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
also, like, I speak to a lot of people about this. It's just like getting on your own path and not comparing
yeah.
yourself. And it really is about that, like you said, with the dancing.
Mhm.
It's about thinking about when you're going to leave college. Are you going to be put in dance rounds? Are you going to be put up for dance shows? If you're not the best at it, probably not. So focus on like your path and what the future's going to bring for you instead of comparing what other people are doing.
And realistically, like I love dancing now. I think part of the reason I felt I wasn't good at dancing is because I wasn't letting myself enjoy it.
Yeah.
And now it doesn't matter. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
It's
And
really,
then I've walked into a part that literally can't dance. Like Penny can't dance, which I
that's so,
think is so funny.
that must be so much fun. Was there a time at Mount View that you think like, do you look back, did you do like swing project? What were your third year musicals?
Ooh, like that I loved.
Yeah.
I just the one I mean, Swing Projects was really fun actually, now you mention it. I loved it. The one thing that I really take away from Mount View, and we had some great times, like third year was sublime. Um, but like the one thing I would always say that I take away from it is just the group of like friends that I have. Like my year group was just so close, like all 40 of us, and we just had like a really, really good time. And that's something I found hard coming out because I've gone into a great cast of great people, but sometimes I just miss like my best friends, especially in that last show that we did, because we did Sunday in the Park with George, and although there was like 8 of us that did a play and the rest of us were in the musical, so we are all together, and unless you're Dot and George, you don't really have that much to do, so we kind of just had a good time together the whole time, and it was just a really nice experience. Yeah.
Lovely. How was that transition for you from college life to the real world, the industry?
Yeah. Well, I've been thinking about this a lot recently because I finished Mount View on the Friday and I started rehearsals on the Thursday, like the next week. So I had 3 days off. And I think at the time it really just felt like I'd done a fourth third year show because it was the same kind of timeline.
Yeah.
But now it's carried on a lot longer than that. So it goes through like changes because you're on a high for such a long time. And then like about 5 weeks into the shows, I was kind of like, this isn't the same. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like not like the honeymoon phase like sort of wears off and you you don't like start to hate it, but you start to realize that, this is your job and
Yeah,
isn't quite the same. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But yeah,
It must
I've had
be
a good
so fun to just graduated and jumped into a tour. How do you find the tour life?
I don't mind tour, to be honest. I think 20 weeks of it is quite a long time. Like near the end, I think I was flagging a little bit because it's not even the travel. Like I've not had too many bad travel experiences. I mean, touch wood. But a lot of, and I've had not really too many bad experiences with digs. But I think there comes a point where you pack your suitcase every Saturday and then get it back every Monday. And it was just a bit like, I wish I could stay somewhere and just put something in my wardrobe. Do
Yeah,
you know
it's
what
like
I mean?
living out the suitcase, isn't it?
Yeah, that got a little bit at the end. I was kind of like, I just feel like everything doesn't have a place. I like to put everything away.
Yes, for
And you
sure.
just can't, it's kind of just on the floor. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Talk to us about Penny Pingleton. What a track.
I know. She's so funny. She's so cute.
She
I
is.
love
I
her.
saw the show in Wimbledon, on the press run, and you're insane. It was so good.
I had such a good time in Wimbledon because that was just, you got to show it to the people that you know.
Yeah, it's like people that are local. All like,
Yeah.
did all your college friends come?
Yeah, so many of them came and so many that I didn't know were coming as well. So that was really nice because
So
my best friends is in second year and I know all the second years and I knew he'd come. But like quite a few of them came and it was really just nice to see them because I didn't expect them. They don't need to do that. It's quite far. Do you know what I mean?
oh, that's so sweet. What is your favorite scene or song to do in the show?
Um, you see, it's changed throughout the run because you like a certain bit and then something else becomes like great. I've always enjoyed like my reveal in B. Like that's quite fun because
Yeah.
I've spent the whole show kind of not doing anything like that, and I really do enjoy Without Love. But Without Love is kind of a I don't know. Is it double-edged sword? Is that the same? It's kind of like two sides to it because I love Without Love, but then when I don't feel well or like I feel like I'm not giving my best, it is
The
really hard.
pressure of doing it.
Yeah. And then when it's going wrong, it's the worst part of the show, but it's
Oh,
also my favorite. Do you know what I mean?
I was gonna say Without Love is my favorite part of the show. It's so good.
It's
And
so funny.
your track is so high, like soprano for days.
Yeah. It kind of comes out of nowhere as well because I know I sing in Mama, but up till then it's kind of an acting track.
Yeah,
I think probably when they were writing it, they were like, God, she's not sang anything. We better put this in here. Do you
behind
know what I
it.
mean? Yeah.
Oh, funny. What is your like vocal routine like? Do you have a vocal health scheme that you kind of follow to keep your voice in top form?
Well, I would say actually that I do have like what I want to do, but sometimes I think on tour I find it difficult to stay on top of certain things because we're in a new place and sometimes my steam is still in my suitcase at the theatre. But like I do try and steam when I go home after the show. And when I get up in the morning, like 5, 10 minutes, that kind of thing. I have the Vicks one that's like full
No.
Vic.
Yeah.
Um, and when I'm poorly, it's all like Fination straw. I've got a sing ring when I'm poorly. It's like this it's a ring and it's got like a tube on it and it's like a really small straw and it kind of like do you like Fination breath work with it. But I find like when I get poorly, my issues are like tension and breathing. So anything that I can sort of unlock. And I've found like I've got my Theragun and just like at these muscles, I get really tense shoulders and then I'm singing like, "Ugh," and it's never good.
Our
Like just
teacher used to say, tension kills vibration.
yeah, 100%.
So when you're tense, it's the worst. And also, like physical warm up comes a lot into singing. It
Yes.
really does loosen up your body and it allows you to just access your singing more. So
Hmm.
some people who just start out don't realize that. But once you do a bit of like if you move around a bit, you probably find that you can. It's just
Yeah,
not easier, but you know what I mean. Like
100%, 100%. And I kind of warm up a little bit through the show because my singing's nearer the end.
yeah, it's like gradual.
Just try not to overdo it in the BVs and stuff.
Yeah. If you could be another role in the show, who would you be?
I mean, I would love to do like Link, but if we're talking about like what I could actually do, Velma.
Oh, yes. Joanne
Yeah, she's a
Nixon
good
as
one.
well.
Yeah.
He's so good. It was
What's
so
so funny about
see
sorry,
her.
go on. Go
I
on.
saw her as Fiona in Shrek and just
Yeah.
in this role, like she's smashing it.
What's so funny about Jo is she's like Velma is so serious and Jo's such troublemaker. So she really makes me laugh.
So funny. What's like a thing that you always do backstage? Like is like during the show, they're called like hidden gems. Like, is there anything that you do
Ooh,
by certain songs or
I would say, well, there's a one thing I always do before a show. You know, like just before you go on, it becomes like a thing.
yeah.
Because everyone is in the opening number if they're a beginner, apart from me and Sol, who plays Link. So we just stand and sing BVs because we don't come in until Nicest Kids, but we have to be there and we watch them all do it. So before each show, we just have a little hug and we're like, have a good show.
Oh,
But we
that's
always do it. So like it's become like I think if we didn't do it, I'd be like, bad show, bad show. And then
yeah.
also the ASM on that side, Joey, he'll always be like, have a good show, mate, little high five. But
Oh,
he always does it, so it becomes a thing. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, so cute. What's your favorite costume to wear?
Ooh, I really like, well, my first pinafore that I wear has been made for me and my body. So I'm like cute. But I've always loved the skirt I wear in Without Love. I don't know why. Because
Yeah.
it's technically not that nice. Like it's a bit like Penny's not ugly, but she probably isn't a fashionista. But I love that skirt.
Cute. In the future, if you could do any show next, what would it be?
Oh, that's so hard because I want to do every show ever,
Oh,
but
oh,
there are a few. Like my top dream role of all time is Belle in Beauty and the Beast,
oh,
but
wow.
that's
What a good
yeah.
show. Disney as well. I mean, the budget on that.
Mhm. I'd love to be a princess.
Yeah.
Just one,
You know
just
what?
one.
I would see you as Anastasia.
I would love that to come here, but that's never been here. I don't think.
No, no,
That'd
I'd
be
really like that to come because that soundtrack is so good.
yeah. It's
But
such a good one.
yeah. Um,
Um,
what advice would you give to someone who has just graduated and going into the industry? So, like, if you could tell yourself when you've started Hairspray.
yeah. Well, I think if you're in terms of like going into like a first job, there are just certain things that drama school can't teach you in terms of like it can teach you how to act and do your craft. But in terms of like just existing as a person in a company full of people and like trying to find your footing in that, there's just certain things that you kind of just have to go with the flow. And some things are not easy and you're going to be like, oh, I don't like this. And some things you just sort of like, you got to get on with it. But I would just say, like, stay calm, stay out of it. And sometimes, the idea that, because we all want to exist, like, I'm very into like creating and building a character and like acting in that like kind of way. And sometimes when you're doing a show, um, like Hairspray that everyone knows really well, you've got to sort of be able to let that kind of go a little bit, and learn which jobs are this kind of job and which job is this kind of job. And do you know what I mean? And just sort of go with it.
Yeah, yeah. It's so interesting hearing it from someone so similar in age because it's really inspiring. And for people who are in their third year, it will be so helpful to hear that, it is possible. You can graduate into a job, and it is that thing that, again, not comparing what other people in your year are getting up to and just focusing on your own path, which is really.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on. The last question I always ask my podcast guests is you got to nominate someone to come on the pod and I'll reach out to them. So obviously Jacob Smith nominated
Yeah.
you. It's your turn to nominate someone and I'll reach out to them and try and get them on.
Oh, I'll nominate someone from my year. You've already spoken to Eve, I think, from
Yeah,
Starlight. She was
yeah.
in my year. Um, maybe maybe I'd nominate Noah Thallen because he's a swing in Les Mis at the moment. He was in my year as well, and he covers like 11 tracks, which I
Oh
feel
my
like is very
goodness.
different to what I do. So maybe
Yeah,
like he has some interesting things to say.
definitely. Oh, that would
Yeah.
be really interesting. So I'll definitely reach out.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on, Freya.
Thank you.
Have a lovely
Thanks
rest.
for having me.
Thank you. Bye.